Welcome back to another Fun Appeal show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanstradamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. Today's title is Breakdown of the Julio Foolio Trial, Part 2, a celebration of a murder. We're going to look at what they did after the murder and then look at Sean Gathrights plea for sympathy from the jury, and then go back into the state's final argument. So I'm gonna go from what they did after the murder, Sean Gathrights plea to the jury, and then go back to the state's closing argument. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this real quick. We're having a blessed evening today. Let's continue. Let's just jump right into it. What's up, Millie? You said cut that ice cream machine off. It's this iMac. It's this computer. Here we go. Okay, let's get into it.
Back towards the Impala is still shooting at the victim's vehicle, and that's muzzle flash you see from his rifle.
And now all three phones return back to the Airbnb around 4:53, 4:55.
Were there images saved from Davian Murphy's device of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick?
Yes.
Did those images have any kind of tags on them, or were these specifically saved with the data from the downloads from YouTube or from the internet?
Yeah, so on Davion Murphy's iCloud extraction, we could just see the images that he searched on the internet and then saved to his device. They weren't yet tagged or posted to social media.
Going back to the early morning hours post, was there also a post of the same image saved to Davion Murphy's iCloud account, posted to the story of Rashad Murphy?
Correct.
And at what time was that?
That was posted on Rashad Murphy's Instagram account at 8 to 10 a.m. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak that he may grow arrogant.
Referencing a Prosper and Junior G Day.
Yes, at 12:14 p.m. on the 23rd, Rashad Murphy's Instagram posts this black screen on the left there with the white words Prosper and JR G Day today, quotations 187 babies.
Have you learned that the individuals Prosper and JR were individuals killed on the same day together?
Yes. J. Breezy is a prominent rapper for 1200 gang with a rival gang to Mr. Jones. He's also the gentleman that sent Isaiah Chance $390 before Isaiah Chance used that money to book the Airbnb that the defendants would stay at. Yes, in this image from Isaiah Chance's Instagram, we can see Isaiah Chance to the right with his face covered up by a ghost emoji. And then in the center of the picture, we can see Antonio Tilly giving the middle finger. Yes, so this is a screenshot that was taken from Sean Gathrights iCloud download. And what we can see in the screenshot is the timestamp at the top.
So you see that J. Breezy, he sent the money to pay for the Airbnb. He also dropped a song. So he dropped a song a couple of hours after the murder where he references where he paid for the murder. And J. Again, they're going to do a RICO case. They are, because these guys are just stupid. Rashad Murphy was looking for the images like a minute after the murder, looking for an image of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick together, like they won the Super Bowl. Like, imagine you kill somebody, and then like a minute later, you're on Google looking for an image that he posted that morning, a couple hours later, maybe like 4.5 hours later, maybe 4 hours later. But let's continue. But hold on. So Sean Gathrights iCloud. So Sean Gathright got rid of his phone, but he had an iCloud account. So everything was in his iCloud, dummy. So he says, let Ace's song marinate. So Ace dropped a song after the murder as well. I forgot what the name of his song was, but both Ace and J. Breezy dropped songs after the murder referencing the murder. So in Ace's song, he references the murder. He says, I think he says like 4 hit, 1 died. He's very specific. And then J. Breezy does the same thing in his song to reference specifics about the murder. So you see Sean Gathright says, let Ace's song marinate. You know how it be with niggas. Everyone say his songs are trash. Then a day later, everyone be glazing it. He snapped though. So this is Sean, and I can imagine that Sean was trying to prove to these guys that he was street dummy. He's just so disgustingly disappointing. But let's continue.
At 7:40, so approximately an hour and 40 minutes after Ace's "Do It" song came out, he screenshots a Reddit post
So that's the song "Do It." That's where he references the murder.
in the Duval County thread. Let Ace's new song marinate.
Where was the device based on the cell site information that you had?
So based off of the location cell site data, we know that Sean Gaithright's device traveled post-murder first to Polk County, to his grandmother's house, and then to Orlando in the area of a nightclub called Parlay.
Were there some photographs which confirmed Sean Gathwright's presence along with his sister and love interest, the Kyla Enright and Nevaeh Gathright?
Yes, at this point in the evening on Sunday, it appears that Sean Gaithright had united with Nevaeh and Kyla at the club, and there was still images and videos in Sean Gaithright's download.
Is there a separate video in 94D2?
Yes.
They're celebrating after doing it at a club, man.
Your knowledge, other than himself and Don Julio bottles, were there any other videos during this time?
No.
No, so you see Sean Gathright after the murder, smiling, cheesing, happy, showing John Julio bottles. Everybody know that he did it, or he and these guys did it. So he's in the club, stunting and flexing, celebrating after a murder. He's 18 years old. You see him, Don Julio, that represents Julio Foolio. So then everybody know that, hey, I did it, or I was one of the ones that did do it. So we in the club celebrating. They got the car going from Tampa back to Jacksonville, from Jacksonville to Tampa to Jacksonville, then to Orlando to celebrate.
How about the video depicted in 94D3 or the still in 94D6? Do those come from the device of Sean Gathright from his time at this Parlay Club?
Correct.
Oh
Was
my
the video
God.
or the image depicted in 94D6 from the video that's skipping in 94D3?
Yeah, that's a still image on the left from the video on the right where Sean Gaithright throws up that sign there.
About 94D4, was that a photograph on Sean Gathwright's device?
Yes, still at the same club. You can actually see in the image on the left, on the top left, you can see the name to the club, Parlay.
Do you have an opportunity to go through Mr. Davian Murphy's account beyond the Bill Belichick searches?
Yes.
And did you locate this item on the 24th on Mr. Murphy's account?
Yes.
Can you read to us what Mr. Murphy posted on that day?
Thanks to everyone for all the congratulations. To everybody else, stay in your lane. Again, happy G Day. Corbin, I love you, my N-word. LL Shug, long live Shug, long live Spaz, long live Leaky, long live Gunna. This is a still image from J. Breezy's song, everyone for all the congratulations. To everybody else, stay in your lane. Again, happy G.
Celebrating after doing it at a club, man.
Your knowledge, other than himself and Don Julio bottles, were there any other videos during this time?
No.
And how about the video depicted in 94D3 or the still in 94D6? Do those come from the device of Sean Gathright from his time at this Parlay Club?
Correct.
Oh
Was
my
the video
God.
or the image depicted in 94D6 from the video that's skipping in 94D3?
Yeah, that's a still image on the left from the video on the right where Sean Gaithright throws up that sign there.
About 94D4, was that a photograph on Sean Gathwright's device?
Yes, still at the same club. You can actually see in the image on the left, on the top left, you can see the name to the club, Parlay.
Do you have an opportunity to go through Mr. Davian Murphy's
So this is Davion Murphy's phone. This is what he posts. Thanks to everyone for all the congratulations. To everybody else, stay in your lane. Again, happy G Day. So again, he said people congratulating him, celebrating. They just killed somebody now. So you see they have no remorse. This is at 9:16 a.m. on 6/24. This is the next day. This is the very next day, the very next morning.
account beyond the Bill Belichick searches?
Yes.
And did you locate this item on the 24th on Mr. Murphy's account?
Yes.
Can you read to us what Mr. Murphy posted on that day?
Thanks to everyone for all the congratulations. To everybody else, stay in your lane. Again, happy G Day. Corbin, I love you, my N-word. LL Shug, long live Spaz, long live Leaky, long live Gunna. This is a still image from J. Breezy's song Psyching Out,
When was this video actually posted to YouTube?
the day after the murder, June 24th.
During the course of your investigation, did you have an opportunity to review these videos themselves?
Yes.
And does Mr. Breezy, J. Breezy, make reference to the homicide of Charles Jones?
Yes, he does.
Does he make reference to being physically involved or financially involved?
Specifically, he uses this murder shit I sponsor. He's indicating he financially sponsors the murder.
Oh my God. I don't know how these guys aren't scared of a Rico, man.
Was
So J. Breezy and this is why they don't want to use lyrics, because these guys are stupid. They don't want lyrics used because these guys are dumb. That's the only reason. This guy implicates himself in this murder by bragging about it in a song that he paid for the murder, when he literally sent Isaiah Chance $390 for the Airbnb. So he literally paid for them to stay somewhere to commit the murder, and he admits it in a song. This is why they don't want these guys' lyrics in a song, because these guys are dumb. They're just stupid.
That individual with J. Breezy for the entirety of the video.
Yes.
Did Rashad Murphy's Instagram account also include this J. Breezy video as well?
Yes, it did.
And again, the Wappa with a Chopper Gravedigger video, was that a part of the return for Rashad Murphy's Instagram account as well?
Yes.
From the physical device extraction for Rashad Murphy, was there a still or selfie image that was depicted on June 25th?
Yes.
And was that image what's depicted in 101R?
Yes, this is an image from the extraction of Rashad Murphy's physical device. Appears to be a selfie of himself.
The rapper Young.
So Rashad Murphy, this is 2 days after the murder, or a day and a half after the murder. He posting selfies, stunting again, no remorse. The only reason these guys didn't get the death penalty, maybe two reasons. One reason is because Julio Foolio wasn't innocent, and secondly, they're black. And again, like I said, they tried to make this case about young black men not having father figures and growing up in the hood. Like, it's just all this stuff, man. And these guys are just reckless. And this was Sean Gathwright's fourth shooting that he was involved in. Fourth, where he finally killed somebody. Let's continue.
Ace published a song on June 28th of 2024.
Game over. The lyrics at 5 a.m. I got the call. Who's this? The murder happened at 4:40. So he's indicating within 20 minutes he's getting the news or getting a call. 4 of them I hit. 3 of them I hit. 1 of them dead. So 4 people were hit in this murder. 3 of them survived. 1 of them died. So they're very specific lyrics for our murder.
Because Young and Ace also makes specific reference to the war in Jacksonville and people who have been lost.
Yes.
All right, cross-examination.
So that's what happened. You see Young and Ace, even in the video, he has some Don Julio on his head. Again, this is about Julio Foolio. So now let's go to Sean Gathwright's plea for his, now that you saw what he did after the murder, and this was his 4th shooting that he was involved in, now let's see how he is on the stand.
Say your name for the record, sir, and spell your name for a court reporter.
My name's Sean Gathright, SEANGATHRIGHT. I was born on October 20th, 2005.
This boy was born in 2005. This boy was born in 2005.
Mr. Gathright, you've heard people speak here today on your behalf and yesterday, and I know that you wanted to address the court and the jury. So I would like to ask you what you want the jury to know.
I just want to address the court today, and, you know, I'm not here to dispute anything. I'm just here to be a man and take responsibility and express my feelings about what, you know, this whole situation, you know.
So he's already admitting that this is true. He says, I'm not here to dispute anything. I'm here to take my responsibility or accept responsibility as a man. So he's acknowledging that they got the verdict right. He's not disputing the verdict.
That's what I plan on doing.
Okay. And how do you feel? What?
I feel very remorseful, you know. This is a terrible situation. It's been a traumatic experience. You know,
Let me ask you this. So how old were you when you were arrested?
I was 18 years old.
We heard that you had started some college, obviously probably didn't get very far, right?
Right.
What have you done since you've been in jail? Is there programs? Are there things that you can do there?
So, you know, I've gotten into programs. I've also, you know, I grew up, you know, in church and, you know, in a Christian household. So I refocused my, you know, life to Christ, and, you know, I've taken a lot of religious programs. I've read the Bible from cover to cover. I've tried to, you know, share some word, and, you know, we have prayer circles in the jail and stuff like that. I've led a couple, you know, prayer circles, and I've tried to, you know, kids around my age or, you know, younger, you know, since I'm 20 years old now, when you turn 18, you know, you go to the adult pods and stuff like that. So if I see somebody who I see, you know, has a lot of potential and has a chance to keep them from, you know, basically being able to be corrected at this opportunity and not come back, you know, I try to take them under my wing. As you see, I have a lot of resources and a lot of family that love me, and they've even, you know, asked me like, hey, is there anybody in there who doesn't have somebody like that, who, you know, could we send them some money, like, you know, anything like that. So I've tried to, you know, be a vessel for God to pour over my blessings into those around me.
We heard from Mr. Benoska, who said that, you know, in
Who's buying it? Is anybody buying it? Do y'all believe it? Do y'all think he's sincere? Do y'all I see the cap emojis all in the chat. So do y'all believe that he's who believes that he's sincere, that he's really had a change of heart and seen the error of his ways? Naomi said, I don't believe it. This dude was in the club. I want you to think about all he did and having enough whatever to be able to go party. You just killed somebody, you killed somebody, and then you shot 4 other innocent people. And you still want to go party and celebrate. Can't wait to jump on social media. So no, they all, okay, so I don't want to spoil it, Tierra, but I don't want to spoil it, but no. So let's continue.
prison, that there is opportunities at times to be a mentor, or you do orientations and peer-to-peer things like that. Is that something that you'd be interested in doing?
Of course, you know, I definitely want to, you know, try my absolute best to course correct anybody from falling down a path that they don't have to take, especially the youth. I feel like that's my calling that God has put on my heart to, you know, be a mentor to the youth and be a positive influence in this world.
What about those relationships? Like you said, you have a lot of people. Are you able to maintain?
I'm gonna say this again. That's his white grandmother right there. So you know his father is white, so that's his white grandmother, and that's his mother, and her mother spoke as well. So both grandmothers spoke on his behalf. But the reason why he took his mother's car is because he knew that his mother would lie for him. He knew that his mother would lie for him and say that she went to Tampa. Because there's no way you would take your mother's car knowing, like, he took it because he knew she would give him an alibi. And she actually gets on the stand and talks about her son and says that wasn't him in the video. So she's an enabler.
Those relationships now?
Yeah, so, I mean, everybody who I, you know, maintain a relationship with wasn't able to all be here today or, you know, even testify. But, you know, I talk to them daily, weekly, bi-weekly. You know, I cherish my supporters very deeply. and I want to maintain a relationship with them for the rest of my life.
Now imagine his dad trying to get him on the right track, and he not listening to his dad because his dad is white. He got the excuse because his father was white. So his father disciplined him. He didn't like it, and he ran away. And his mom said, okay, you can come back to Florida. So I know he went to school in California, Mississippi, and Florida in his teen years. I think before he lived in Japan, but we're going to get into all that. Top Herc said them waves say he lying. Well, I would say the waves say he's lying, and his mama Weaves say that she lying. So the waves and the weaves, that means you're lying. But let's continue.
And I know, we're not going to talk about the case itself, right? But you said that you were taking accountability, you felt remorseful. Tell us what you mean by that and what statement you want to make.
To the victim's family, I want to send my deepest condolences, and I understand that it's hard losing a child, a best friend, a brother, a cousin. And for that, I just cannot say sorry enough. I feel terrible about the situation, but I'm a firm believer that God can use anything for good that the devil wants it for bad. And so I am grateful for the people I've met, for the lessons that I've learned, for just this experience in general, because it's one that I'll never forget, and it's going to shape the rest of my life.
Sounds like there's that saying, it's kind of cheesy, but you make lemons out of lemonade or whatever.
Lemonade out of lemons.
Somehow. I obviously don't make lemonade, but it sounds to me like you are going to try and make the best of a bad situation. Does that sound about right?
Of course.
And are you going to continue to do that?
Of course. I'm going to try to, continue a humble life, a righteous life, try to.
What's crazy is he thought he was getting away. You got to think, because listen, in the Black community, 60% of homicides go unsolved, right? 60%. And so this was his fourth shooting he was involved in. So he had gotten away 3 times, no problem. So this is what I mean. Like they get away because nobody wants to snitch. Nobody wants to report the crime. It's hard to get somebody to come forward. You have circumstantial evidence, but not really, concrete evidence. And so it's kind of difficult sometimes, but it's in the Black community because nobody wants to say anything. Even with the social media posts, even with all that, you really can't do it because it's a rap song, it's a video you can't use, just foolishness. But he thought he was going to get away. He thought he was going to get away. That's why he was so sick in that interrogation room. He thought even when let's continue. I don't want to say it. Let's continue.
Do the right things at all times, and
Will you apprise yourself? We've heard about some, courses and programs and things that you can get involved with to stay busy in prison. Is that something that you plan to do?
Yeah. So hearing Raul's testimony was, the first glimpse that I have of, what prison it could be like. I want to stay as busy as possible, stay away from bad apples. I want to keep a job, get into programs, try to get into any vocational things I can do, try to, keep my record clean to, go to the best incentivized things and have visits with my family. And, I just want to just stay out the way, just want to make everything, peaceful as can be.
Even knowing that you're not getting out of prison, you want to make the best of your stay there?
Of course. I mean, who wouldn't? If you're going to be somewhere for the rest of your life, why would you make your life a living hell?
And you're young, right? You're 20?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I have a moment?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Stay. you would agree with me that Charles Jones was young too, wasn't he?
Relatively young, yes, sir.
26, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what the evidence showed us, correct? You were sitting here watching that, correct? The evidence that came in over the last several weeks?
I was right there.
Yeah. And you want to take accountability now, correct? You want to take accountability now that this jury has found you guilty, correct?
Yes, sir.
Weeks after we went through a trial. Is that your testimony?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
You indicated this was a traumatic experience. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you just testified to, correct?
That's what I said.
Now, keep in mind, if these guys would have pled guilty, no death penalty. If they would have pled guilty, no death penalty. So basically, Pamela, he's on here trying to appeal to the jury to not get the death penalty. The trial is over with. He was found guilty. Now he's either looking to get life in prison without parole or the death penalty. That's what he's asking, trying to get life in prison. And keep in mind that there are no conjugal visits in Florida. So there's only 4 states that offer conjugal visits: California, Washington, let me see, California, Connecticut, New York, and Washington. Those are the states that offer conjugal visits. So if you're going to do a ridiculous crime, do it in one of those 4 states so you can at least get married and have conjugal visits. Yeah. But so the state is now cross-examining him, and the state's basically saying, you had us go through all of this, and now you're accepting responsibility? Think about it. You had us go through a trial. You could have said this in the beginning. Because responsibility is, I did it, I'm guilty. Why have us go through all this charade, this circus, for you to now say, okay, you want to accept responsibility after you're found guilty? Come on. It's too late. It's too late.
We just have one moment, Your Honor. I'm trying to get the all know.
Yes.
Look at Rashad Murphy looking at him. Look at Rashad Murphy. Look at Rashad Murphy eyeing him. He's the only one that took the stand. The other ones knew better. They knew better.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Stage 25C. You remember Gino Norris?
Yes, sir.
You remember him? He was also really young when this happened, wasn't he?
I didn't know how old he was.
Early 20s, 22. Would that surprise you?
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Gino Norris, who's not a gang member, who's Charles Jones' friend from the time they're children.
That's the legal basis. Okay. Come on up, counsel.
The judge trying to spare him. The judge trying to spare him getting his work. Nah, don't spare him. Don't spare him. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Oh no, don't get scared.
C. Xavier Edwards.
Don't get scared.
25C, Gino Norris. And you saw the autopsy photos of Charles Jones. My question to you is, after you and your friends inflicted that carnage on June 23rd, and as you were running States 2059C, this is actually you running to shoot them. but when you were running back past that Tesla, were you feeling a lot of trauma at that point?
It was so long ago, I try to not remember anything from that night.
Were you remorseful as you were running back with that AR-15 in your hands?
Like I said, I try to remember nothing from that night.
Was it traumatic to you as you went back to the car with that AR-15? Was it still smoking? Was it still warm in your hands from firing it?
Sustain the objection.
Yo, the state is cooking. He said, was the AR-15 still warm when you went back to the car? Goodness.
Were you feeling remorse as you were getting back into the Impala?
Like I said, I just try to focus on today and moving forward.
So the next day, that Impala, that was your car. You drove that around, right? It was your mom's, but you drove that car, correct?
Yes, sir. It was my mother's car.
Right. And that was the car you drove from Jacksonville to Tampa in, correct?
I'm gonna object beyond stuff.
I'm working to a point, Your Honor.
Okay, why don't we just get there?
So this car, this Impala that you drove from Jacksonville to Tampa in with Mr. Chance and Miss Andrews, the one that you drove in tandem with the Silver Cruise, the same car that you utilized to drive the assault team, the shooting team, which you were a part of that night. That same car that you drove around Tampa in the early morning hours for several hours, tracking, stalking, and hunting Charles Jones and his entourage.
Sustain.
That same Impala, you drove that to Polk County the next day, and you dropped it at your grandmother's house, right? The same grandmother who came in here last night and testified for you, correct?
Overall, go ahead. You can answer that question.
Isn't that correct?
What is the question?
You dropped the Impala, the one that had all of these shooters in it, the one that was utilized in this murder, that was such a vital cog in this plan. You dropped it at your grandmother's house in Auburndale, didn't you?
I'm here to testify about today.
Are you going to answer that question, or are you going to avoid it? Because that's not what I asked what you were doing here today. I think we all understand what you're here to do today, what you're testifying about. I'm asking you specifically about your remorse. Were you remorseful when you dropped that car off and left it at your grandmother's house in Auburndale?
I did go to my grandmother's house.
Were you feeling remorse when you hugged her and got into the Forerunner and left her with the Impala after you wiped it down?
Sir, I'm just telling you that today I would like to express my remorse to the
I understand,
family and to the court.
I understand what you're trying to do today. I'm asking you, since you're trying to convince this jury that you're remorseful, were you feeling remorse that next day or later that day?
I don't remember these days in detail, how I was feeling, what I was thinking.
What about later that night when you went to Orlando? Were you feeling remorse when you were out partying at Club Parlay, celebrating what you had done that day?
That was my sister's birthday party.
What did you feel any remorse while you were drinking Don Julio tequila and putting that in your video and throwing gang signs?
I'm here
Did you
to
feel remorse
testify
there?
about today, sir. We've all seen the evidence. We've all reviewed everything.
Mr. Chance, it's not time for you now to make speeches. You've politely answered your counsel's questions. Can you not answer the state's questions? Is there something about my question you don't understand?
I was getting to
I'm sorry,
Mr.
Mr. Gafford. I called you Mr. Chance. Excuse me.
I was getting to my answer. Like I said, I've seen all the evidence.
Well, we've all seen all the evidence.
Yes,
right?
sir. That's true.
And after all that evidence came in, and this jury based their true verdict on.
Y'all think he built for this? Do y'all think he's built for this? Do y'all think that y'all think he built for this? Because I don't think he's built for this. I just don't. I looked it up. If you have a life without parole conviction in Florida, you can appeal it, but it has to be an error that the courts made. So basically, improperly admitted evidence, improper jury instructions, or constitutional in violations. So he'll have a chance to appeal. I just don't know what he's going to appeal on. But I assume that they are going to appeal. And I think he has 30 days to file the appeal, but I think he's going to apply for an appeal because part of this is going to be the appeal process. Corey said he billed for the whole stroll. He said throw him on the blade. Throw him on the blade. Yo. No, listen. Julio Foolio ain't no saint. He's not a saint. Julio Foolio is not a saint. But I will say that he seemed to have been a target more than he was a I feel like he was targeted more than he was targeting, if I can say that, because he was the quote unquote number one op in Jacksonville, so he couldn't even be out and about like that. You know, and he came back to Jacksonville. He's supposed to not even been in Jacksonville. He should have just stayed away. JV Chanel said Julio Foolio said his first kill was around 13. It makes sense. I think his dad was killed when he was like 12, so that makes sense. Yeah, he probably killed somebody. We'll get into Julio Foolio because I'm gonna get on him last. You know, King Von was a demon. Saying yes. So, like I said, Julio Foolio wasn't innocent. So they didn't give him a death penalty because, like if Julio Foolio was just a rapper and not in a gang and not in, like they'd got death penalty. But the fact that he was a gang member himself, the fact that he made all this music, the fact that he ran, like the fact that all this, in fact that they're not getting the death penalty.
On that, convicting you. Now you're taking accountability? Is that correct?
Sustain the objection. I think the question on the table was remorse about,
It
okay?
is, Your Honor.
You just need to answer that question.
So I'm going to ask you very specifically, okay? So try to focus.
So I guarantee he was instructed not to admit to anything if he wants an appeal. So you notice when he said, when he was asking all them questions, he was like, you know, we've all seen the evidence. You know, he didn't say I did it. When he asked him about his mother's car dropping it off, he didn't really answer the question because he knows if he wants to have an appeal, he can't answer these questions because it's going to destroy his chance at an appeal if he admits everything right now. So taking responsibility, notice he's taking responsibility, not really taking responsibility. He's not saying I did it.
The laser beam here, Mr. Gathright. Were you feeling remorse when you were in Club Parlay in Orlando drinking Don Julio? Were you feeling remorse for what you did earlier that day?
I don't remember how I was feeling or what I was thinking.
Were you feeling remorse when you got pulled over in the Forerunner a couple of days later by the police?
I don't remember. I was nervous. I mean, I had never been involved in any police.
Were you feeling remorse when you were unloading the Impala and putting all of that evidence into the Forerunner? Did you feel remorse?
Sorry, I told you I don't remember how I was feeling or what I was thinking in those days.
Mr. Gathright, you have led, you would agree with me, an extremely privileged life, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with that, correct?
I would.
You've had a loving mother, correct?
Yes, sir.
A loving sister, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've had two wonderful grandmothers, correct?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with me, right?
I couldn't deny that.
one of which probably, I'm assuming, sacrificed and paid for you to go to that private school, that preparatory school, correct?
It wasn't paid. It was a magnet program, so I had to apply, and it was a lottery system.
It was a lottery system. Okay, so it was a magnet.
Yes, sir.
All right. She supported you going there, did she not?
Everybody did.
Gave
Yes, sir.
you open use of her house, welcomed you, treated you, and parented you basically, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
Took care of you when your parents were deployed, correct?
Yes, sir. At the time, I was living with my grandmother. Both of my parents had been either retired or out of the military. I was just living there more so. I needed a change of scenery, and my relationship with my father wasn't sustainable.
Okay. This is when you're in Oxford with your grandmother.
Yes, sir.
The nice lady we saw earlier came in here.
Yes, sir.
Keep in mind, he was involved in a shooting in Oxford. So he was involved when he was with his grandmother in Mississippi, and this is his black grandmother. He was involved in a shooting in Oxford. But there wasn't enough evidence to link him to the crime, but he was involved in a shooting. And I think the shell casings matched some of the shell casings that he had, the caliber of gun that he had matched the shell casings or whatever. But it was a link from, in other words, he was involved in a shooting in Oxford, Mississippi. And then one of his classmates said that he ain't built like that. He was a nice kid, whatever. But anyway, he wanted to be a part of the streets.
The one that has supported you and spoke so lovingly about you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you went to this preparatory school, and whether you got in there through a lottery or not, you would agree with me, not everybody gets to go to a school like that, correct?
The lottery school the magnet school I went to was in middle school when I was living in Jacksonville. The school I went to in Oxford, it was just a public high school.
A public high school.
Yes,
Okay, my mistake. So you went to that preparatory school in Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
But again, that school was not something that every kid gets to go to, right?
Oh, sir.
Not every kid gets to have a counselor and a role model like Mr. Edwards, correct?
No, sir. I was very blessed.
And not many children get to fly in planes with their stepfather, correct?
No, sir.
And fly around in Asia and get to see islands off the coast of Okinawa, correct?
No, sir. I was
And go on
very
camp-
blessed.
You are very blessed, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And not every kid gets to go to Scotland, right?
No, sir.
Or Ireland,
No, sir.
or Paris,
No, sir.
or London,
No, sir.
or Spain,
No, sir.
Cape Town, or Johannesburg, or both in South Africa.
Cape Town.
Cape Town, beautiful city, right?
Yeah.
You got to go experience that when you were growing up, correct?
I did.
Because you had such loving people around you supporting you, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, your grandmother went.
This boy has been all over the world. Did you hear where this boy has been in his life? I'm gonna play this again. I'm gonna rewind a little bit so y'all can hear where this boy has been.
No, sir.
Or London,
No, sir.
or to fly in planes with their stepfather and a role model like Mr. Edwards, correct?
No, sir. I was very blessed.
And not many children get my mistake. So you went to that preparatory school in Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
But again, that school was not something that every kid gets to go to, right?
Oh, sir.
Not every kid gets to have a counselor and a role model like Mr. Edwards, correct?
No, sir. I was very blessed.
And not many children get to fly in planes with their stepfather, correct?
No, sir.
And fly around in Asia and get to see islands off the coast of Okinawa, correct?
No, sir. I was
And go on
very
camp-
blessed.
You are very blessed, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And not every kid gets to go to Scotland, right?
No, sir.
Or Ireland,
No, sir.
or Paris,
No, sir.
or London,
No, sir.
or Spain,
No, sir.
Cape Town, or Johannesburg, or both in South Africa.
Cape Town.
Cape Town, beautiful city, right?
Yeah.
You got to go experience that when you were growing up, correct?
I did.
Because you had such loving people around you supporting you, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, your grandmother went with you on that trip, did she not? Or not on that one, but on the ones to
Several
Europe,
trips,
correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we heard you got to meet up with your sister in one of those trips, correct?
I did. I had the privilege.
So you always had someone there taking care of you, and you always had good, strong male role models, including people at your grandmother's church and your stepfather, Mr. Harrington, correct?
I had male role models in my life growing up, but in my more formative years, more so 16 to 18, I did not have a relationship with my father, and the male role models that came and testified, they were present, but not intimately as whenever I was younger, maybe middle school years. But when I turned around 16 to 18, it was the females that actually had that caregiving and, nurturing relationship with me. But
Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
yes,
So,
sir. Towards the more recent years,
Mhm.
I didn't have that one-on-one and very close relationship with, those male role models in my life. You heard my stepfather say, after the divorce.
I did hear that, Mr. Chance. Let me stop you,
Mr.
okay?
Gathright.
And we'll go back to my question. I'm sorry.
Mr. Gathright.
I'm sorry. I keep calling you that, Mr. Daffrey. Let me go back to what you said earlier. Between 16 and 18, you didn't have a male role model? Is that what you're telling the jury?
I'm not saying I didn't have any male role models, but day to day, young men need strong.
That's not what I
influence.
asked. I asked if you had a male role model between 16 and 18.
I had a figure that I could go to, but not intimately.
Mr. Edwards, right?
Yes, sir.
He had stayed in contact with you even when you graduated into high school, correct?
Yes, sir. We definitely maintained a relationship, but
And he
It
seemed
was-
to be pretty enthusiastic about that, right?
yes, sir.
In
Yes.
fact, you went on a cruise with him at some point, did you not?
Yeah, when I was younger, yes. We had
Okay.
a very close relationship.
And then from what you're saying, if I understand it right, the females, I'm assuming you're talking about your grandmothers and your mom stepped into the gap?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was grandmother's, mother's, sister. Those
So
my- those
let
my
me
parents.
see if I got this right. When you were being brought up, and you were being brought up by a mother who was enlisted or an officer in the military, an officer, wasn't she?
I don't know exactly what her rank is. I know she was a sergeant.
But in the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir. She was in the Marine Corps.
All right. And then you had a
Man, that,
Um,
oh shit.
later by the police,
I don't remember. I was
high school.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
My
no, sir. I was
And go on
very
camp-
blessed.
you are very blessed, aren't you? Trip, did she not? Or
But in my more formative years, relationship with me. But
thank you for clarifying that. Let me go back to what you said earlier. Between 16 and 18, you didn't have a male role model? Is that what you're telling the jury?
I'm not saying I didn't have any male role models, but day to day, young men need strong.
That's not what I
influence.
asked. I asked if you had a male role model between 16 and 18.
So as you can see, their whole play was to say that these young men didn't have male role models. So and it's just a sad, it's just a sad trope. So in other words, because black men don't have male role models, you essentially are excusing the behavior. There are plenty of children that grow up without a father. Most black children do, and most black children don't get involved in crime. Most black children don't get involved in crime. So this notion of a father being absent automatically means you're going to be a criminal is false. Most black children don't grow up with a father, and then most of them don't get involved in crime. So I don't understand. We always try to link the two. Now I'm gonna say this: that yes, a father is very important. Yes, you need a positive male role model. Yes, you need your father. All of these things, but we don't go from one extreme to the other. Meaning that we don't go from absent father to spin the block. That's not how that works. This boy was surrounded by people that loved him. He was shown the entire world. I don't know what else you can do. If I show you the world, you get to go stay with this person. You get to go stay with that person. You're spoiled. You're taking care of you. You're in freshman in college, about to be a sophomore. Like, you are living a great life. You have access to everybody's vehicle, access to your mom's car, your grandmother's car. You can take it out of town. You can do what you want to do. This issue right here is not the absence of a father. This issue right here is the enabling of the adults around him. As I said before, this was his fourth shooting, and in the other shootings, the police were involved. He's talking about he didn't get involved in the police. Yes, he did. There's a video of him when his hair was longer in a red shirt. When he got arrested that time that we saw, he had a black shirt on. But I saw him getting arrested in a red shirt with curly hair. So again, yeah, come on. But I'm just tired of this. I didn't grow up with my father. My dad left when I was 6 years old. My dad was a horrible father figure, horrible role model. I still knew right from wrong because my mom didn't reinforce bad behavior. So my mom was never going to say, if I got in trouble at school, I got in trouble at school. Whatever an adult told my mom about me, she believed it. Whatever an adult said, so if an adult said your son was doing it, she believed it. This boy's mama said on the stand, that wasn't my son in the video. Your son literally seen leaving your house carrying automatic weapons or semi-automatic rifles. He's the one that supplied the guns.
I had a figure that I could go to, but not intimately.
Mr. Edwards, right?
Yes, sir.
He had stayed in contact with you even when you graduated into high school, correct?
Yes, sir. We definitely.
Man, pause. I had somebody I couldn't go to intimately. Pause, man.
But not intimately.
Mr. Edwards, right?
Yes, sir.
He had stayed in contact with you even when you graduated into high school, correct?
Yes, sir. We definitely maintained a relationship, but
And he
it
seemed
wasn't.
to be pretty enthusiastic about that, right?
Yes, sir.
In
Yes.
fact, you went on a cruise with him at some point, did you not?
Yeah, when I was younger, yes. We had
Okay.
a very close relationship.
And then from what you're saying, if I understand it right, the females, I'm assuming you're talking about your grandmothers and your mom stepped into the gap?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was grandmother's, mother's, sister.
So let me see if I got this right. When you were being brought up, and you were being brought up by a mother who was enlisted or an officer in the military, an officer, wasn't she?
I don't know exactly what her rank is. I know she was a sergeant.
But in the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir. She was in the Marine Corps.
Boy, that wig's so hot on her head. Whatever that is, that thing's so hot. She's sweating like a stuck pig. That thing is hot on her head, man. She's sweating. That thing hot. You seen your son pleading for his life, and that wig is it's a 400 degrees down underneath that dead skunk.
All right. And then you had a stepfather who was in the Air Force, right?
Yeah, he was.
From the time you were 3 all the way up to when they divorced in 2020.
Yes, sir.
All right. They taught you.
This boy. So not only did he have his father, but he had a stepfather up until he was 14.
Right from wrong, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we
Of
heard
course.
that from your grandmother,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Of course. Yes, sir.
Miss Lyle, she told us the same thing.
Right.
They brought you up in the church. They taught you about the 10 Commandments. They taught you about right from wrong. Did they not?
They did.
All right. And they were excellent role models about living your life in a disciplined, honest, and right way, correct? And being law abiding, correct?
they really didn't have to worry about me. You know,
Well, let me just answer my question. Would you agree with what I'm telling you? That they were excellent role models of
Yes.
how to live a moral life?
yes, sir. They definitely instilled the foundation.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have nothing else, Your Honor.
Okay, redirect.
So, you know, as you can see, there's really no excuse. And that's what the state was trying to say. The state was trying to say that even though his father wasn't there, meaning his father wasn't physically in the state with him, you still were surrounded by people that loved you, including positive male role models. And I'm going to say this again. This notion that just because your father isn't there, you got to crash out is insane. It's just insane. The boy admitted that he was raised the right way. So that means you purposefully chose the streets. You admitted that your grandmothers, your mother, everybody wanted you to succeed, and you chose the streets. What's up, Melanin? Y'all got to follow Melanin, man. Y'all do. Please go follow Melanin Legacy. Melanin, excellent content, and she stay on these women's head. Please go follow Melanin, please. Thank you, Melanin. What was I going to say? But yeah, so this young man chose the streets. And I talk about the culture, and what made him choose the streets is the culture, because what happens to Black children is if they grow up with a decent life, they don't feel Black enough. So he's a biracial kid growing up in the suburbs. What do you think he yearns for? He yearns to be quote unquote Black. What is Black to him? Black is the streets. Black isn't being a doctor, isn't being a lawyer, isn't being a scientist, because he was in school. Like, Black isn't anything they say it is about Black excellence. Him being Black is the streets. It was mentioned about identity of being biracial. It was mentioned about, you know, his father being white and him not getting along with his dad. Like, all this stuff was mentioned. So his version of Black was spinning the block. His version of Black was gang life. His version of Black was degenerate behavior. His version of Black was going down to the hood, to the ghetto, poverty, slumming it. That's his version of Black. Yes, Tierra, invited to the cookout so you can shoot it up. Exactly. And like I said before, he took his mother's car because he knew she would lie for him. Let's get back to let me see.
Effing sliding a gun killed shit and who don't or who didn't, boy. What the F? I'm talking about confirmed kills, bitch. Let's be for real. And he's speaking directly about his anger. If you remember the other slide about nobody doing nothing about Tilly. Nobody's doing anything. And in his social media posting, he misses his friend, Tilly, who you recall was shot in the Uber just a few hours before the attempt on Charles Jones' life. He wasn't just a gang member. He was the face of 6 Block. He was the spokesperson of 6 Block. He's the one visiting his friend and then goes over to the grave of the opposition and is giving it the finger and posting a photo and dancing on a grave with the photographs of those young men that were shot at the town center shooting.
Foolio literally danced on their grave.
That's Charles Jones, and that's why he was murdered. It goes to the heart of this case. Every citizen in this country is entitled to due process and to pursuing and having the right to life. And Charles Jones had the right to life. So when you're considering the mitigation, you've got to determine, number one, has it been proven? And number two, what value or significance does it have to you as it pertains to sentencing? As it pertains to sentencing, does it mitigate against a potential sentence of death? Because that's its purpose. It's up to each and every single one of you to make a personal moral decision about that. So I want to talk about, I'm just going to walk through these mitigators. They're
JV Chanel, thank you so much. If anyone wants to see what all led to this, there's a documentary called Jacksonville Deadly Gang War by YouTuber Trap Laura Ross that explains it. It's crazy. Thank you, JV Chanel. Yes, if you all what's crazy is Julio. So Julio Foolio's cousin, I'll just say it briefly, was a football player in college. One of Ace's boys shoots up the house, ends up shooting a 9-year-old girl 5 times, but ended up killing Julio's cousin. So they were already beefing, but once Julio's cousin got killed, that took it off to him because he was innocent. He wasn't in the gang. He was home from college. Like, it wasn't, he had nothing to do with nothing. And the boy that was shooting at him literally threw a rock through the window or glass sliding door and shot in the house indiscriminately. So when Julio's cousin got killed, that took whatever beef and fuse they had to the ultimate level where they was just dropping bodies back and forth. It's crazy. So yeah, go watch the documentary to see just how many folks died in this thing. It's crazy. It's crazy how many folks have died in this back and forth beef. And it's crazy how many folks died and how many convictions there are.
different, and there's a list of them. And I'm just going to remind you that the judge will tell you, each of you must decide what weight is to be given. Different factors or circumstances may be given different weight or values by different jurors. Isaiah Chance suffers from borderline intellectual disability as well as untreated ADHD. I think that is not proven to you, even by a greater weight of the evidence. I think the evidence in this case, through the state's expert, Dr. Warner, So
you're going to listen to him, but basically they try to bring up absentee fatherism, mental illness, delayed learning. Like, they try to listen. They brought up everything they could for these young men. Everything.
Warning has proven to, and also through the cross-examination of Dr. Harding, that his ADHD he had was when he was a child. That's when he was a child. Was it untreated? Yeah. You know why it was untreated? Because that defendant, Mr. Chance, has a wonderful, loving, caring, involved mother who was concerned about him and having Ritalin and other drugs pumped into her child. And she decided against it. Some people decide to have their children treated with that, and that's fine. But she decided against it. And I'm not suggesting that that mitigates against that, but just you need to consider that in the actions of his mother, who was, if nothing else, a wonderful woman who came in here on her son's behalf, who loves her son and her son loves her. They have a good relationship. And she doted over him when he was growing up and tried to help him in any way she could. His decision-making was impaired by borderline intellectual disability. And that's according to Dr. Harding. Dr. Warner told you, no, Isaiah Chance is not in the borderline range. That's below the low average range. She talked to you all about his vocabulary, his syntax, the way he spoke to her, about how he was able to convey to her his passions, his dreams. He wanted to be a merchant marine. He was a longshoreman who had to go through the application process to get a TWIC card to be able to get into the ports, which are regulated by Homeland Security and TSA. Mr. Chance did not personally carry, display, use, or threaten to use, or attempt to use a firearm during the commission of the offense. Well, he didn't, but Mr. Chance supplied. He supplied and certainly carried from his BMW into the house, and it went along the trip.
So Isaiah Chance, as you can hear, had a good job. He was a longshoreman. Think about that. Driving a BMW, like that's why he was like, I'm not gonna do any shooting. So, but he gave Davion Murphy that I guess that Glock or that 9 with the extended clip. He gave him that gun. I think he got that gun from J. Breeze, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he drove a BMW. He had a great job. Think about it. He was a long short, he was, and again, I told you all yesterday that he and Sean Gathright were closer because they had similar upbringings. Isaiah Chance was raised the right way as well. He wasn't no degenerate. He wasn't no bum. So you had Sean Gathright in school, and you had Isaiah Chance as a longshoreman. So, these guys were like doing something with themselves. Now, Rashad Murphy and Davion Murphy, that's a different story. But these two, they weren't what you would call bums. They might have been dumb, but they wasn't bums. Let's continue.
Along with them all the way down in that Impala, and Rashad Murphy utilized it in the commission. I would suggest the evidence has clearly disproven that Isaiah Chance has borderline intellectual disability or ADHD. Isaiah Chance cherishes fatherhood and has a great relationship with his 3 children. That's mitigating, and you should consider it. It's been proven.
Isaiah Chance has 3 children. Wow.
Chance has a loving and close relationship with his parents, his sibling, his grandmother and godmother. I can't imagine a better grandmother. The state cannot imagine a better grandmother than his Nana, and his mother, and his father, who appeared by Zoom and talked about his son. So yes, that's been proven. Is it mitigating in this case? That's up to you to decide what weight you want to give it. But it is a proven mitigation.
So his father was in his life, mother in his life, grandmother in his life. He got 3 children. He knows what it means to be a father. He has a girlfriend. It's no excuse. There's no excuse.
Been proven by the greater weight of the evidence.
And you can tell by how these people were speaking up on these people were loved. These people had a lot of support in their family, even the Murphys.
He has a continued support of his family. He does. That's clearly proven. He has a son, a brother, a grandson, a father whose life has meaning to others. I think these are getting repetitive, and there's a total of 18 of them that apply to him. And again, as to Mr. Chance, the state of Florida is seeking 2 extremely powerful aggravating factors. This was a cold, calculated, premeditated murder, and that he was a gang member, which lays at the heart of this case. So it's not, the judge will tell you, a mechanical process or a numbers game.
Each individual juror must decide what weight is to be given to a particular aggravating factor or mitigating circumstance.
So what does that tell us, and what does that portray about Isaiah Chance's life? He had loving people around him. He had his mother. He had his father. He had his grandparents, his Nana and his Papa. He had, his mother was separated or divorced from his father, but then came along Mr. Nix. Mr. Nix, do you remember Mr. Nix? Who has that wonderful program he runs in the streets of Jacksonville to try to interdict and stop this from happening? Mr. Nix, who was not blood related to Isaiah Chance and his siblings, but would pick them up from school. The man who wouldn't accept one-word answers when he asked Isaiah Chance, how did school go today? What did you find interesting? What subject matters?
He had a guy picking him and his siblings up. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. When I was coming up in the hood, there was always people trying to help. There were always people looking out. There were always people trying to make sure that we were successful. Always. There was never not a time. There was never not a time where people were looking out for us. So I can look back on my life and say, these guys chose the streets on their own. There were so many programs. Oh, the programs. Oh my. I remember going to Oak Park Summer League, and I remember they had like a day. So we played basketball, obviously. Then they assigned us to teams with coaches who were from the community or formerly. And then we also had stuff we did during the daytime. Daytime might be, you go to McJoy School of Law, listen to speakers, take some courses. Like, dude, they would feed us. Then there were things like Youth on the Move. I remember those. Listen, those Old Park Summer League games were legendary. I'm talking about packed because Sac High had a huge gym. Huge. It was huge. Legendary Old Park Summer League. You'd even see some celebrities coming up in there. Like, it was crazy. Anyway, my point is that we had excellent programs. It was Old Park Summer League. Then you had stuff like Youth on the Move. Excellent programs. When they take you go to museums, they feed you, the enrichment, Youth on the Move, and NYSP. NYSP might have been one of the best because NYSP we used to go to Sac State They had kids from all over the city. We get assigned a group, counselors. It was just excellent. Anyway, my point is that there was no excuse for these kids in the hood to do what they did. It was by choice. I remember seeing a friend of mine. I remember seeing him on the freeway, and he was in like a 65, like an old. Where I'm from, old school car was a big deal. So he was like a 65 Mustang on, and we were headed towards Arden Mall. Me and dude named Antoine. And it's crazy because me and Antoine got cool after we played each other in high school basketball. Anyway, we was heading out to Arden Mall to go see some girls. But we see this guy, I don't want to say his name. We see this guy, and he's flying on the freeway. Flying. 99 North. Flying. And I remember looking at Antoine, and I said, he ain't going to make it. I don't know what made me say that. But he was just so reckless that he drove by us and he was just like, and that dude just got out of prison from that time period, from that year. He just got out of prison. I want to say maybe 3-4 years ago. Think about 1996. He just got out of prison 3 or 4 years ago. Crazy. But there's no excuse.
And other conversation, he would debrief them. He said it was kind of tickled me a little bit, the military terms he was using, but he would spend time, and that's what parents are supposed to do. What better father figure, what better role model than that he made, and had him involved in martial arts, which is part of this SEAL program that he runs in Jacksonville. He couldn't have had a better environment of loving, caring, supporting people surrounding him as he was raised. He had every opportunity. He was taught, as Nana told you, right from wrong, taught about the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, his Nana didn't really do him any favors. She was like, I told him everything about the church. Like, he knows right and wrong.
This defendant, Sean Gathright, is mature, and he can handle himself. He can handle himself. And we saw that in the evidence in this case. You need to consider that. You need to consider his behavior and how he acted.
And you know this is true with these programs and stuff because these are all from the liberals. The liberals get funding. The liberals get funding to make sure these young black kids have a chance. So it's money out the wazoo being pumped into these programs. We didn't pay for nothing. When I tell you we didn't pay for nothing, we didn't pay for nothing. Free food, free water world, free trip. Listen, we didn't pay for nothing. So when parents talk about how much they had to pay this and pay that, man, please, not black parents, not black parents, not black parents. Let's continue.
How this individual, Mr. Gathright, drove this enterprise. He drove it. He literally drove it. He drove the assault team. He provided the weapons. He provided the fire that was directed into Charles Jones' body and into multiple other places, including Camilla Bentley's arm, and potentially into Xavier Edwards and Gino Norris. We don't know because those projectiles were not removed for health purposes. He was 18 years old at the time of the offense. His age at the time of the offense, it's kind of duplicating itself. Mr. Gathright has a proposed 32 proposed listed mitigators. Again, the state would just simply encourage you to follow the law, that it's not a numbers game. It's not a calculation. He was raised in a military family with repeated parental deployments, resulting in frequent locations and prolonged separations. He was, but look at what he was able to do with that. You heard from his mother and you heard from his prior stepfather, Mr. Harrington, a wonderful man, the Air Force man. You heard from Mr. Edwards, the counselor at the school that he got to go to, the magnet school, a school that not every kid gets to go to. And they all told you he adjusted. He was resilient. He was able to go from one station to the next and treat it as a new enterprise. Remember what Mr. Harrington told us? That he treated it as a new adventure, a new culture.
I have another hour to watch of him going, holy shit, Scott is not playing, dude. This might have to be its own video.
He was primarily raised by his paternal grandmother due to parental absence and instability. Well, when his parents were deployed, serving our country abroad, He did. He lived with Miss Cathright, his paternal grandmother. Again, wonderful people. She's right over there watching. Wonderful people. Her and her husband, who's now gone, wonderful people with a wonderful church community up in Oxford, Mississippi, who came around this young boy and this young man and nurtured him and gave him role models. He always, she told us, had good male role models. And what better male role model than Mr. Harrington? What?
Oh, let me go to the sentencing. Let me go to the sentencing. Let's see if we got it right here.
Be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility. We have further considered whether Isaiah Chance should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or death. We, the jury, finds Isaiah Chance should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. We, the jury, find Sean Gathright should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. We, the jury, find Rashad Murphy should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Defendant Davion Murphy, jury verdict form, penalty phase. We, the jury, unanimously find the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Davion Murphy committed the homicide in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification. Yes. We, the jury, unanimously find the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Davion Murphy created a great risk of death to many persons. Yes. We, the jury, unanimously find the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Davion Murphy was contemporaneously convicted of a felony involving the use of violence to another person. Yes. We, the jury, unanimously find the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Davion Murphy was a criminal gang member at the time of the homicide. Yes. We, the jury, have unanimously found the state proved one or more aggravating factors. Each of us has considered whether one or more of the mitigating circumstances exist. Each of us has weighed whether the proven aggravating factors are sufficient and whether the proven aggravating factors outweigh any proven mitigating circumstances. We have further considered whether Davion Murphy should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or death. We, the jury, find Davion Murphy should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Stated this 15th day of May, 2026, CS foreperson of the jury. We have further considered whether Isaiah Chance should be sentenced to life in prison without.
So what's crazy is that they were fighting just to live forever in prison. Like it was either death penalty or life in prison without parole. It's just crazy. Like there's no silver lining. And you gotta imagine the amount of emotions they're going to be going through to realize you're never getting out. And Sean Gathright is going to crack. He's going to crack because it's just, and I'm saying he's going to crack because he's seen the world. He's had the best life. He went from the best life to the rest of his life in prison. Like it's just too much of a big of a, he's going to snap. He's going to snap in prison. Believe he gonna snap because it ain't hit him yet, but it hit him he should be down there right now. It's hitting him now. Hopefully he's not getting hit, but it's hitting him now. I want to show you oh man, where's the video? Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find Davion Murphy's interrogation. Let me see. This is insane.
What was it? No, regular, doctor to got me for real? Yeah, I walked to this gas station. I swear to God. I see him keep your shoes off. I ain't got no
You got socks on. When ain't got socks on.
Hey, I was lit some shit. I was in that bed sleep, man. Oh, and we right down the street from the 7-Eleven. Yeah, I was so you know, man. Before you go to jail, I just run back on. My shit hurt, man. My shit big. I got that in my ass. You said plastic? What, regular? Plastic, regular. I'm gonna get me a one with you. For real, you gonna give me a cigarette? You gonna give me a black mouth? I can't smoke in here, but whenever you go out, I'll have it for you. Come on, man. I swear, hey, I promise. You ain't gonna say something you gonna do, man. For sure. Hey, I got a piss too, though. I can piss in the cup. Oh, bro, that's crazy. Last night I had a dream. The day finally came. But these fuck niggas stopped saying my name. Niggas love to start the beef and play victim. But people in my business fuck the world and all they feelings. And I'm trying my hardest, so close to falling. It is in my heart, it's on my face. Getting kinda hard to hide my pain. Last night I had a dream. The day finally came, but they stopped saying my motherfucking name. Niggas love to start the beef. Niggas love to start the beef and play victim. But people in my business fuck the world and all they feelings. People in my business fuck the world and all they feelings. I didn't have time to put on the fucking socks, bro. Niggas in that bitch sleep that good. At least I bust that bitch. Plastic. Original. Anything to drink? No, I'm good. You don't want, it don't have to be water. I can't buy you beer or nothing, but you want something else? No, like Pepsi or anything? Alright, give us just a second. As soon as you get off the phone, I'm gonna take you to the bathroom, alright? I'm just running to get that real quick. Appreciate it, bro. Oh, bro, I've been moving straight. Been on this bitch the whole time, man. Went to them, came back. Went to them, came back. How the fuck, bro?
What y'all think? He's self-soothing. He's trying to climb out. Drugs. No, this is Davion Murphy. Sean Gathright was the one trying to climb through the ceiling. I'm trying to get to the part where he.
Easy. That kind of kid. That big booty. Easy got work, so she can hold. Fuck. I'm gonna talk about that. That kind of killed saying, screw you, want to talk about.
I'm trying to find the part where he's like points, he's like act like he's shooting a gun, and it's crazy because he was actually holding the other rifle, and it's funny that he mimicked that motion in this interrogation room. He mimicked it.
Well, so loud my breath, I still be the loudest nigga. Oh, bro, that's so crazy, bro. I don't got no socks on the floor. Man, I had to come out of this video, I had to pack it. I still trying to get my phone. I still trying to get my phone, that's what I do. Just got that bitch better. Don't let that hoe get my shit, please. Please don't let baby get my shit.
He laughing. He don't want his girl to get his phone. He rather the police had a phone forever. Like, this is just, his mind is just.
I nigga, man, this shit crazy. Nigga gonna be all in the blog. They gonna go up like this shit. Oh, this nigga got caught in the bitch. I've been doing my thing. What the fuck you talking about? I ain't gotta be in Mexico. The best way to hide from a white man is in plain sight. Fuck you talking about? All those niggas look alike. Dirty.
He said the best way to hide from the white man is in plain sight. All us niggas look alike. You know, black folks eat that up. You know, black folks eating that little line up. They ate it up.
The best place to hide from a white man is in plain sight. All us niggas look alike. Who you damn? What you talking about?
Look at him laughing at himself. He laughing. Look at him laughing. Look at him laughing, smirking, laughing at himself, having a good time. He thought he really said something too.
Oh, you remember Airbnb I've been in? 6 Airbnb, 7 hotel rooms, been in different houses. Something told me to take off and leave that bitch last night. I was running with my. I was still right there, bro. I paid, bro. Lord, I was supposed to take off, bro. That bitch had Amazon, man. Police band, man. I'm like, fuck, he trying to got an Amazon police band.
So basically how they caught him was they were inside the Amazon delivery van. And so of course he didn't see them, but they were inside the Amazon delivery van. They hopped out on him. Done deal.
Last night I had a dream. The day finally came. What these sport niggas got saying my name. Man, chin up, chest out, man. It's bro. Kind of hit me in my shit, bro. That shit crazy. When you want the public know that, though, tell the public how you hit me in my shit, man. I'm talking about old school, I'm talking about straight elbow, boom. Beat the shit out of that guy. Somebody green ass trying to get it to them. Nigga green them motherfucker, man. They tell Joyce that pussy ass shit, but it's gonna fuck a lot of my people up, man.
I'm trying to find the part where he mimics the gun that he was holding. And then he also throws up the 12, the gang sign. In this, so he does all these things because again, he know it's over, so he just doing this really for the game. All this stuff is for the gang. It ain't for the, like, he already knows it's a done deal. He knows it's a wrap. Because he knows if they have him in this interrogation room, they already got all the evidence. He already know they cooked. He know they cooked.
People wrote about this small talk. This crazy. Fuck that shit. What? That's what's good. Man, come take me to the bathroom, man. Hey, come take me to the bathroom. I ain't got nothing to talk about. I don't know nothing. That wasn't even me, so I don't know nothing to tell y'all. You feel me? I don't know nothing. I can't tell y'all nothing. That wasn't me. You feel me? Like,
how you gonna say that wasn't me and you don't know what happened? How you know what was what? Who wasn't you? What wasn't you? Like, he just saying anything.
I don't know how I got here. Like, go took out my shit, bro. That shit crazy. That shit wild. It was sick something, man. Long long as you got that black and mild, bitch, we can walk to the jailhouse. I'll walk to the jailhouse with handcuffs on me. Take off.
Look at him laughing. Look at him laughing. He laughing at himself. He getting a kick out of this. He getting a kick out of this.
Harry wanted to shoot him. And if they let the dog on for him, bro, I would have beat the dog ass, bro. I don't want to guess the time about dog. I'm going to beat the dog ass. I'm telling you, I'm not going to let the dog bite me. Real shit, bro. Look. You wildin' doing shit. Man, you wildin', bro. Like, fuck. My granddad on ICU, man. My granddad in ICU. This shit crazy, bro. This shit. And they lost my birthday. My shit Friday, 4 days for my birthday, bro. Like,
He worried about his birthday. He gonna miss his birthday. He said his grandfather's in ICU.
man, I know it. Nobody never wanted to talk no those, man. I was killing them. No those, man. I was killing them.
I'm trying to find when he was doing that shooting.
And I feel like he probably gonna try something about it because they know my birthday coming up. You feel me? Like, I came my fucking side, bro. I thought he was seeing that though. That was my truck went right there, bro. Wow, fuck, bro. Put that with the jacket on. Who knows me?
Can we pause just for 1 second? I just want to reiterate to everyone sitting in this courtroom, you better not be taking audio or video recordings of anything that happened in here, because somebody did, and someone posted it online. And I find out who did it, you're going to be in big trouble. This is all being monitored.
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't find it, but you all see they all were found guilty and they got life in prison without parole. They can appeal, but it's going to be very difficult to do because there's so much evidence and they have to prove that the court did something wrong or a juror was compromised or something, something has to be done to get this appeal granted. But it'll be the same outcome. And yeah, this guy, he was on the run, but he thought. Yeah, so I think that's all I have for today. It's getting late. I thank y'all for tuning in today. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. When I revisit this, I'll probably go back to Julio, Foolio, and who he was, and then maybe go back to the Julio's cousin got killed. And also, I think her name is Malika Andrews, even with her, because I think she's about to have a retrial because they said the judge let her get off easy. So he was recused from the trial. So I think she's about to get, but she cooperated with the state. But it should be interesting to find out what happens to her. but she's the one that was hitting him up saying she wanted to sleep with one of the guys that was with Julio, and she was the girlfriend of Isaiah Chance. Matter of fact, she got caught with him when they got caught. They both were in the house, and they both came out. They got caught. You know, so listen, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. Thank y'all so much. I may go live again tomorrow. I'll probably go live tomorrow and then won't go live again until I might do Monday, and then won't go live again until Thursday, maybe tomorrow, then Thursday, then Saturday. But listen, love y'all, and I'll see y'all again. Thank you.